CEO from InfoPrives, to come forth as he makes his presentation. Please, can you put your hands together for him?
Good morning, everyone. Here to talk to us about digital trust and why it needs disruption and the way it needs to be disrupted. Digital trust, as we know, is the foundation of all connected businesses and economies. And why it's so important is digital trust ensures security, privacy, resilience within our connected systems. So as fintechs, as banks, everything we do today is digitally connected, and our customers are also going through digital channels. And as we are in a low trust economy, it is important that we ensure that digital trust is not eroded, even though we're in a low trust economy. Forward. Today we generate a lot of information, either through what we do. So coming for this conference, we all registered online through a digital channel. That's information that was gotten. Some of us in this conference hall are on our phones typing on social media. That's data. We are taking pictures. That's content that will be posted everywhere. But how do we ensure that this data, information, and content that has become critical and pervasive is secure? Forward. These things that we generate continuously have become precious to us, as I've mentioned, and they are critical assets to us as organizations and as individuals. There are moments we cherish, experiences we will continue to remember, but most importantly for those of us in the room, there are transactions we consummate, either in our daily lives or our businesses. So why is this important, that we focus on digital trust for them? Forward. We use a lot of apps and we transact with a lot of businesses. And those are the good actors that make our lives better through all the information, data, and content that we generate. However, there is also attention and focus from another set of people or entities, which are the bad guys, the hackers, as we like to call them, people that make sure that they disrupt our lives, our financial stability, inconvenience us. And as financial services organizations or fintechs, they actually make our businesses less resilient through attacks and crime. So it's important that we understand that all the data and info we generate as organizations and individuals, there's personal information and there's personal data and payment information, which we hold as entities, but they are after because they are of value. So how do we protect? Today there are a lot of breaches that reduce this digital trust. So if somebody attacks and is successful against an organization, an entity that has our payment information, our personal information, it reduces our trust in such organizations or such people. But what we need to do is to begin to look at things a little bit differently, which is what we are doing as an organization. What we need to do is to ensure, not just security or privacy, but to ensure that digital trust is not eroded. Because going into the future, and increasingly, as we do businesses online on a digital scale, the greatest vulnerability to our businesses is going to be this lack of digital trust. And if we don't have that, there's not going to be any resilience. And it's harder to actually innovate when you are running after or trying to fix issues around trust, security, privacy, and the lack of it. Next slide, please. So what do we need to do then? We generate a lot of data. and we generate a lot of content. Today what we do is people talk about cyber hygiene, we talk about compliance, we talk about privacy, we talk about security. However, we talk about them in isolation, not in consonance with each other. What we are doing as an organization, and what we are recommending, is that you converge that privacy, security, and resilience so that you are able to control the data people generate on your platforms and for yourself, but also protect it. Traditionally, we would have focused on protecting from a cybersecurity point of view. Then from a privacy point of view, these days, people focus on control. However, they're not meant to be separate. They're meant to come together. Next slide. So what are we doing as an organization, and what are we recommending? I've mentioned we generate a whole lot of information and data, but we're also in an environment where compliance is important. So we need to understand what compliance affects our information and data that we process and we generate and we store. However, today, all that is done manually. So we are recommending, this is the age of cutting-edge technology, and we are recommending that you use anomaly detection based on AI and machine learning across transactions, across endpoints, across entities that generate it, and across compliance data and information. So we as an organization have built a platform that looks at that, taking the cutting-edge technology and matches it. So if you have transactions somewhere, I as an individual should not be dissociated from the endpoints I used to carry out that transaction. I should not be dissociated from whether I am compliant to certain rules an organization wants me to comply by, a fintech. So for instance, if I've not done my KYC, why am I allowed to carry out this transaction? So all that needs to come into consonance, and we've come up with a term called Cybervergent. So which is the convergence of all things cybersecurity, privacy, and compliance. And we've built that into a platform. And we as an organization have helped a lot of fintechs today, startups, financial services, to become compliant. And we're now doing it through a platform, an automated platform. So it takes away the subjective nature of manual processes or depending on somebody, but also looks holistically at your transactions, your endpoint data, your people data to make you compliant. Next slide. So essentially what we are saying is if you want to think about your security holistically with compliance and privacy, then you talk to us at Cybervergent, which is the name of our new platform and the name of our new company. So we are no longer InfoPrive by way of information. We are now Cybervergent. And we are now a technology-based company that solves these pain points we have locally in the country. Thank you very much.
Quickly, we can allow you to go. I would like you to please stand here at this spot while I invite the president to come in, as well as the vice president. The COO, please to come up for us to have this photo session. We need this for PR reasons. We also would like to invite Bimisola, who is the customer service executive of InfoPrives, and the Bola Bo, Mr. Awelewa, to please also come up and join them, please, for the photo option. Okay, right. Thank you so very much. All right. Please, where's the COO? Dr. Babatunde is not here yet. All right. I think the vice president will do well. Please, can we have, lady, you're a lady, you have to break the men in a good way. You know, there's a way you have to balance. You know, the Statue of Liberty and even the Statue of Law is actually female. There's a good reason for that. Thank you very much. We will be going into we're going to go into the next item on our agenda. We had to adjust the program slightly